And we're here with Dante Palminteri to talk about so many cool things today. He has a new single out too, Alone in Paris. You guys have to check it out. It's an amazing song. And for everybody who grew up in late 90s, early 2000s, you really like it because it has a really cool vibe that fits that whole genre and era. Please welcome Dante Palminteri. How are you, man?
How you doing? What's up? What's up?
What's going
What's
on,
going on?
Dante?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Better now that I'm talking to you guys.
Oh, thanks, man. Where are you right now? Are you in LA right now or no?
No, man, I'm in Las Vegas right now.
No way.
Yeah. I got here like 2 nights ago, and I'll be back in New York on Saturday. Yeah, I'm in Las Vegas. My girlfriend lives here, so I've been like kind of going back and forth.
Oh, so you're just there to like visit her and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, no gambling or what?
No way, man. No, they were gambling last night. I could totally see myself having a problem with that.
Well, when I was in Montreal, when I went to the casinos there, I was up like, almost $700, but then you know what you keep doing, you keep going, you lose a little bit, you say, okay, one more. You keep saying that. Yeah, I went back and then that's it, you're done.
And then now you're done. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you got to have like a set limit per day that like you don't care if you lose, and then once you hit that limit, then you're done. That's like the best way to do it in my opinion, but
yeah, but you got to have discipline to stick to that.
Yeah,
my friends, one of my friends has a really bad problem with that actually, so I'm not gonna say his name because he might be watching this, but you know who you are.
I know too many people growing up who are just like, I got just one more game, man, one more game, and you're like, no, calm down.
Take that on crack. Like, come on, one more. Come on.
I gotta do it. I get it. It's like, no, you're not.
Oh, yeah, can you imagine like every time you go to Vegas, just losing hella money would be the most expensive girlfriend ever, bro?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I don't even go to the no way, man. Also, the strip has gotten kind of weird. Like nobody's really going there that much anymore. It's kind of it's like a little ghost towny. Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, but how's New York though? How's living there?
Oh, I mean, it's good. It still kind of sucks. Like Broadway is just starting to come back, but you got to wear masks, and it's a whole thing. And the tourism isn't really there as much as it used to be. But it's coming back. New York's coming back. New York can't die. It's New York. Come on.
Yeah, because Mike's he's in Chicago, and the reason I ask you that too because I'm in Toronto. Mike's in Chicago. You're in New York, and it's funny because there's a big hub for Italians in all the places that we're in.
Oh yeah.
And obviously you're Italian and stuff. So Mike has, from what you probably already know, Hardcore Italians, like my opinion and everybody watching, the best Italian page ever. And
Thanks,
his fans, he's blushing right now, Mike. No, but it's great because we want to talk a lot about your Italian background stuff today, but
Absolutely.
also too, like you've been in a lot of films, you're a musician, you got so many cool things going on. And obviously your dad, we all love him, for being Sonny in A Bronx Tale. He's an amazing actor and everything he's done. So did you always have this kind of acting bug in you growing up too? Like, did you always kind of like look up to your dad?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I grew up on movie sets and stuff like that. I remember being like, just always, taken around and just sort of watching him and being with my mom and my dad just on movie sets or, backstage at shows, plays. I just kind of grew up doing that. And it was never like a moment of, I want to do this. It was just always what I would be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're just always around it. I gotcha.
Yeah. Just like constantly around it.
I know you do a lot of music too, Dante. How did that kind of start playing into the mix then?
I just was always really interested in it. I mean, being around like entertainers always, it's just sort of, you're bound to be around musicians. Like my parents were really good friends with Cher. So I remember just always kind of Cher being in the mix, just like, oh, it's Cher, like 4 years old, like, yeah, just hanging out with Cher. And
yeah, like it's a normal thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Cher and my dad was really close with like Usher. And you were just always around creatives and musicians, and music was something that I always specifically took an interest to. And I was like, this is the shit right here.
Yeah.
Nothing's cooler than that.
Yeah.
I love acting, but to me, nothing is cooler than playing in a band and singing. And that's it, man. That's it.
Well, even like your music too. I mentioned earlier that people who grew up in like the late 90s, early 2000s can really, they can kind of connect with your music well, because your new song Alone in Paris has that vibe of like Simple Plan or Green Day. It has that punk.
Yeah, I wanted it to sound like an intro to Drake and Josh.
That's a perfect way to put it. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That's a good show,
You're a
man. I
genius.
could.
I really wanted it to be like, I want this song to be able to like stand in for Drake and Josh.
That's
That's
awesome.
And it went and we did it and it was great.
Yeah. No, it's good too, man. I was just like, I don't know, on YouTube searching a couple of your songs, and everything's like very well done as far as the music videos too, and everything. Like it sounds awesome. Like you're killing it, man. It
Oh,
seems
thanks,
like
man.
it's.
Thanks. You know,
Mhm,
you just got to keep putting them out.
mhm.
Yeah. And
Like the thing that's you release a song and then it's just like gone, forget it, on to the next one.
I always had a similar taste of music that you have. And again, going back to like, growing up with your dad and like all that stuff. And I guess like the movies that you were surrounded by, obviously 80s and 90s, that type of vibe. Do you like those type of eras as well? Do you get inspired by that type of music too?
Oh yeah, man. Like, yeah, 90s. My mom was like 90s grunge all the way. And so
Wow.
she, the first genre of music that I remember really getting into was like Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam and just like all the 90s rock, Nirvana and Soundgarden, Radiohead,
Those are
that
classics.
kind of stuff. That was, yeah. Oh yeah, Rage Against the Machine and Tool and those bands that was it. That was it when I was growing up. And I had a band. We were called Camus and we played all that. That was it. That was what we loved to play. We covered, Rage Against the Machine, and we would cover Audio Slave and Soundgarden and Tool, and those were like the most fun times playing music. Like ninth grade. We don't even know what we're singing about. We're singing like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
We're
and
like
Soundgarden.
14 years old, 13 years old. We have no idea.
Yeah, Soundgarden's with. So is Chris Cornell? So he was an Audio Slave, then Soundgarden, right?
No, he was in Soundgarden, then Audio Slave.
Okay, and then he just went on his own, I guess, or is he still with?
Yeah,
them?
so Audio Slave was Chris Cornell and then Rage Against the Machine minus Zach. So the band of Rage Against the Machine with Chris Cornell.
Oh,
Like
okay.
outrageous.
And
sick
and
combination.
you're a big Chris Cornell fan too?
Yeah, his death was the first death that actually upset me. Like of a celebrity, when you hear a celebrity dies, you're like,
Yeah.
oh wow, that sucks. When Chris Cornell died, I was bummed out for a very long time.
Holy.
Wow.
Well, his James Bond song was amazing. Probably like just almost as good as Skyfall, I have to say.
Oh yeah, man. He has the greatest rock voice. He is the only person I would compare to like Robert Plant. I mean,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, because that voice, that little bit of a raspiness to it. Yeah.
His voice is that's it. Chris Cornell, end of discussion. His voice is the best rock voice.
I love it. Man.
So are you doing like any touring or anything like that, or you just kind of put out a song and like you said on the next one, you're just kind of focused?
Yeah,
on
I'm gonna start doing touring. I've been in like limbo of moving from New York to LA for like a few months.
Oh, okay.
And COVID has started to ease up so I can start playing shows again. So I'm going to wait till once I move and then I'm going to absolutely start playing some shows. Yeah, I definitely want to come to Chicago. I've never been there. Same thing with, you're in Toronto? I've never been to Toronto.
Oh yeah, it's great here minus the weather.
Yeah. I was in Montreal a little while ago and everybody's like, you got to get the bagels. I'm like,
oh, they're good.
Sure?
I've only had them once, but they're really good.
Yeah,
but,
good. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It's so Mike, actually, before we go on, when I was in LA, I texted Dante because he was going to LA, but he got there the day I left.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
really?
I was thinking, of course.
I wanted to meet you, man. I was like, I gotta meet this guy, and then like
Dude,
right the day I
I would
left,
find
like,
myself in Toronto. I'm coming to Toronto.
I'm definitely seeing you, 100%. I have to.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same if
that's
you come to
awesome.
Chicago, man. You gotta let me know for sure.
I got to come to Chicago. I've never been.
Really? Yeah, I mean
Never
it's kind of
Chicago.
similar to New York though, so you probably fit in pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying?
I'll assimilate immediately, I'm sure. I'll find the Italian group and just be like, all right, that's it. We're done.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to ask too, because you're real into music. Is that kind of what got you into TikTok? Because I don't know, man. Some of your TikTok videos are hilarious, bro. I know like it kind of, a lot of it's audio based. So just curious like how you got into that and started messing with
TikTok, like you have to.
it. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't have
It's hard to get a good following on that and like to find a demographic because you have to do like not stupid things, but you have to do things that like 13-year-olds like sometimes. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense to you guys?
Like
I don't
mass
know.
I mean,
appeal
you
stuff,
just got
you
to
mean?
do things that like people will want to share. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
TikTok
Yep.
is really, they don't, like, for some reason, it's like app culture has developed, and in one app, like, this kind of promotional material is acceptable, but not on this one. Like on TikTok, if you're just like, please share my new song, everyone's gonna be like, no, get out.
No.
Like, we don't want that here. Keep
Yeah.
that on Instagram or something. TikTok is like, they just want normal, funny or cool videos that are relatable. That's it. But you have to do it for, like, the consistency is paramount.
I
And
think you
I'm
have to.
not the best with that. So I
Well,
really
yeah.
gotta get better.
No, man. Your stuff's great, man. And I think what Mike's trying to say too, you do it very tastefully. Like you do it with like you're not in people's faces. Like again, like check out my song or do this. Like there was actually one I saw. I don't know if it was a TikTok or on Instagram, but it was with you and you were trying to talk like a mobster or whatever, and then you turn on to these four guys. You're like, yeah, hey, that do it right, and they're like, you should.
Oh, those guys? Oh yeah.
That was hilarious, man.
Yeah, that's Squiggy, and that's Sandy Blue Eyes, and that's Bobby Lamb Chops. Yeah.
The names too. Wow.
I was gonna say the names are awesome.
Oh no, those are like real guys. Those are legit dudes who are for real, born and raised Bronx and Bed-Stuy. Those dudes are nuts, man.
Yeah, hardcore. I feel you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hardcore, no pun intended. Hardcore.
No, those
hardcore Italians.
You gotta
real.
drop
those dudes
it in.
are hardcore.
That's amazing, man.
Oh, the funniest guys in the world. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but even like when I mentioned how like it's the, because I feel, by the way, I said like the TikTok, like people just want content that's for like 13-year-olds and stuff. What I mean by that too is because it's like you just said, if you tell people to like, oh, share my song, do this,
No one's gonna do anything.
they're not, because I think Instagram has that more of a mature audience for that. I could be wrong, but that's what I've taken into account when I see my
there's just stuff that
analytics.
you could totally post on TikTok that you should never post on Instagram. I think
That's what I'm saying.
Instagram is gonna be is on its way out.
You think
Yeah.
so? Like it's gonna be like
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah, it's gonna be, or Meta, whatever that is. Yeah, it's
Oh my god, the metaverse. You guys hear about that? The metaverse?
Yeah.
dude, I'm so close to like living in a cabin in Montana
Off
in
the
woods.
grid.
I have no idea. Yeah.
I know it's scary
dude, I
as
feel
shit,
you.
man.
I'm the same way, man. It's crazy. I feel you.
Guys,
there
like
for
this guy's
sure.
literally changing the world.
It's so like
But
it drives me crazy how much social media like is dominating. You could be so good at music, and you better be killing it on social media.
mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's essential. So that's really what got me into TikTok and Instagram. If it wasn't for my career, I don't even think I'd have social media. But it's
Yeah.
really really important.
Yeah, you
It
need
is, and yeah, like I don't even think it's that necessary either, because look what they did back then. They didn't have any social media and stuff, and a lot of it's just raw talent making the moves and making the noise.
Well,
But
But back then you just had to get really lucky and kind of know somebody or get
Mhm.
discovered. Now the good thing is you don't have to get discovered. I mean, you
Mhm.
could sort of put yourself in the position to be discovered on
Yeah.
Yeah.
socials, but the thing is everyone is doing that. So you
Yeah,
just
it's
get
competitive.
so watered down that it's like, now that's the new problem. How do you
Exactly.
break through everyone else?
I got you. Well, I think you're doing a good job, man, especially because you're mixing in the comedy. Like, I'm pretty sure we posted the one yours that went real viral just with your dad. Like, how's it go again, Adam? We were talking about it before with
Oh, you're like, it's like the song. Wait, hold on a sec. I'll do it properly. Wait.
Oh, is it the one where we jump and we change the clothes?
No. I'll play it. Here it is.
What was it? Shit. There's a few of them I do with him. He's always like, "What are we doing?" I'm like, "Just do this, please."
I think this is it. Hold on. I'm gonna try to reenact this because it was actually really funny.
You got it pulled up?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Yeah. I don't have the video, but I have the audio of it. Are you in the mafia?
Oh, that thing. Oh yeah,
Kinda,
from the
what?
Sopranos. From the Sopranos, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That took like 20 minutes to do because he's like,
Really?
"Wait, what?" Like it's so the generational thing. I'm like trying to explain to him what to do. He's like, "I don't understand what I'm supposed to do." I'm like, "Just
Yeah,
listen to me. It's gonna
He had
work."
one line. He had one line.
No, but
Yeah.
it's like so weird explaining. He's like, "Who's talking?" "That's Tony Soprano." I'm Tony. I'm like, "No, you're not. You're you. It's a thing. It's a TikTok. It's a trend."
Yeah, you're right.
And
He's
he's
probably
"Why
used
don't
to
you
doing it
do it?"
like the legit way just because he's into the theater and stuff. Like you're playing a part and all that. But yeah, it's like
No, he gets into it. I'm like, it's not like that. It's just
yeah,
say
don't even
just say I'm in the what. That's all you have to say.
That's what I'm
How do you
saying.
how do you
but-
want me to sit? No, dad. You just have to mouth it. Just that
I'm like,
act
just
normal.
look at the camera and just say, I'm in the what? That's all you have to do.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
so-
like perfect because he like would set the standard for like that that like trend or whatever, because that trend was just viral for a while, and I saw that one. It's like you can't fucking top that.
You can't
So
top
that was
saw
great
him
that you did
doing
that
it.
one.
My sister was like, you got to do it. I'm like, yeah, I guess I do.
Oh,
Let's go.
God. That's hilarious. dude.
But oh, tell us a little bit more too about just growing up, because just even with your dad and like you said, like I'm sure his buddies are the hardcore Italian type. Like we're interested in your Italian side and just your
Yeah,
upbringing
man.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's like such a huge part of my identity, man. I mean, I've got my
Yeah, I noticed that, bro. I was
Hey.
gonna make a comment on that too. I love it. That's awesome. Is that from IFTV or?
I think so. I found this on Amazon and I was like,
Oh, okay.
I'm buying it right immediately.
Yeah, I know, man. That was like one of the best days ever to see him win,
Oh,
man. It was.
How great was that? I was on a
loved it.
boat in Cape Cod and there was no service and we were like, the water was chopping and the wind was going the engine and like I could barely see it, the glare. Everybody was going, what's happening? I'm like, I don't know. And then I was like, we're in penalty kicks. What the fuck is going on? And then, oh my God, I was on the dock of the boat or whatever. I don't know boats. I was on the front of the boat going like,
Oh man, it was like
what? I'm like, what?
I know. It was like such a thing of relief when they won. It was like, oh man, because it was so up and down with the penalty shots at the end. One second you
Right.
think you're freaking hopeless, the next second it's like they have a chance. And
I thought we were gonna
Oh, dude,
lose.
it
To be
was-
honest with you, I didn't think we
Me
were gonna
too.
win.
The ball was like the internet was so bad and I had such bad service. The ball would like freeze in midair, and
Oh
I'd
my-
like have a conniption because I'm like, what? Like this cannot happen now.
yeah, they had
And
to
then
be
it
the
would like
worst.
quickly like fast forward, and then I'd be like, is it in the goal? Like I didn't know what was going on. But yeah, man, I mean, my Italian family. That's what more can you say? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's all family oriented, and even like you take part in the traditions and everything too. Like, do you make tomato sauces here or what?
God, yeah. Well, what's cool about what I like about there's like two kinds of Italians. There's like Italians, and then there's like Italian Americans. You know what I mean?
Yep. Mhm.
Yes, we know about those. Yeah.
And Italian Canadians
Yeah.
for had him over there. It's around-
Yep,
I
yeah.
do not. Yeah, I don't know too much about Italian Canadians, but I know like
No,
so
I
my
know.
mom was like Italian, legit. My
Okay.
dad was more like New York Italian, Bronx Italian. So my mom's side. I mean, my nonna, my nonno, they lived with us, and
Oh man.
oh man, it was the best. It was the best. I'd come home from school at 3:30. There'd be 70 people in the house. Just I would have no idea. Like I started noticing that things were weird with me when I started dating my girlfriend. And
Okay.
we would go to my house and she'd be like, who are all these cars? I'd be like, I don't know. Like just whoever.
Yeah.
Like
It's
what do you
it's
think
it's
about
my compadre, my comadre. You know.
It's
Yeah.
just, I'd walk in, she'd be like, who's here? I'm like, I do not know who is here. I have no idea.
But just know their family.
Yeah, it's normal. And
yeah, like you walk in and it's like, oh my God. And
yeah.
everybody, my friends would come over 4:00 in the morning. Yo, I swear to God, my friends, we'd be in high school, 4:00 in the morning. My friends would go upstairs. They'd come down, lasagna, sausage, meatballs. They'd be like, Nona was awake. I'm like, oh God, I'd come up. Nona, what are you doing awake? She's like, your friends that are hungry. I'm like, it's fine. It's 4 a.m. Go to bed. No.
This is a good. You know, reminds me of Goodfellas. Remember Goodfellas when they like had to get the knife to.
It's just like that, except
And
we
it-
weren't killing
Yeah, for
people.
real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
we're
That's
just like playing like GTA and like smoking weed and stuff like
yeah.
that.
There was
So,
no Billy
Yeah.
Bats in the back of your truck. It wasn't like that. Yeah.
no bodies. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
it was just like that. She would just catch us and be like, "Are you hungry?" And we'd be like, "No." And she's like, "I'll make you something." And we're like, "Okay, all right."
yeah,
You can't
that's what I'm
resist, you
saying.
can't
There's
resist.
no denying the
Can't resist
differences
those
too
things.
between like being Italian or Italian American and like, you know what I mean, just American in general. And I like kind of how you said there's two different perspectives. And that's I was gonna say that's one of like the biggest things we liked about the Italy game is because normally that side is kind of I don't know, people like who are Italian American and people who are Italian, sometimes they argue about like what's right, what's wrong and stuff. But when Italy won that soccer game, man, it was like
Everyone's together.
everyone's together. And that's like
Mhm.
that was like one of the most beautiful things to see ever. That's what we want to really like try to encourage with the page and just connect everybody. And
Oh, yeah.
you could be, 1% or 100%, whatever. So that's like one of the reasons why we love that game. But it's always cool when you have like the Italian American side and the Italian side,
Right.
because they're both like beautiful in their own ways, man. I know growing up, like, I don't know, my dad and all his buddies are just so Italian American, and like the how you doing and stuff like that. And it's just so
Oh yeah,
fun.
man.
Yeah, it's so fun being around them, and everyone just is like, they're like family. They're considered family. And
Yeah.
just like on my mom's side, just growing up with my grandparents, I barely could speak English. And you know what I'm saying? Just doing all the traditions of like, the food and the sauce. And it's like, I don't know. I just love both so much.
It's two
So
totally different things. I mean, my dad would wear like this dude would show up to like parent teacher conferencing with like a pork pie hat on and like just like total, this dude looks like he's coming to kill your family. Like like my dad is like 6'3", like
Yeah.
black gloves, white scarf. I'm like, where are you going? Where are you going with this? He's like, I'm going to his school. I'm like, you're gonna scare everybody.
Go to school.
But like he would look like that, and then I would have my nono, who would eat a pound of pasta and then wear a Speedo to the pool. And so you had those two
Not bad.
like totally opposite ends of the spectrum, but so very Italian in my family. And it was always very, very funny. Like my grandfather would just walk right out, and he didn't give this dude, this guy had confidence like you couldn't believe. Speedo, 75 years old, stomach, rocking a Speedo.
A nice chest hair with the nice cross dangling on that chest hair.
Oh man, he was like,
Yeah, no
he was
shade.
out there.
You know what? Though
real old school.
the nonnies too, like the old school ones, right? They even if they're going to like the bank or they're just going to like to grab the mail, they always have to wear a suit with a
Just
tie, dress shoes,
dressed up,
everything.
decked
And
out.
I'm like, it's
Where you
crazy.
going?
Yeah, even I would say too. Like I'd be like, no, where you going? I'm just gonna get the mail. I'm like,
going?
Yeah, it's either a suit
mail.
or a
I'm like, why are you wearing a
tracksuit.
suit? We're wearing a three-piece track suits too. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I wear a
it's
lot
like
of
the
tracksuits.
Sopranos
I'm not
after
gonna
all.
lie. I have like a ton of tracksuits that I wear all the time. And I'll walk downstairs and my mom will be like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" And I'm like, "This is my tracksuit." She's like, "Jesus Christ, you're really going for it." I'm like,
Ah,
"Yeah."
geez, you got Christopher Moltisanti from The Sopranos. Oh my God.
We
That's what
have
she
the
was saying.
conversation like, "How do I look?" "You look like a gangster." Like that
Oh.
is every day.
It's like thanks, Mom. That's what I was going for. Yeah.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Like, oh, thanks, perfect.
I always bust my parents' balls about that. I'm like, I watched Sopranos. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna open up a nice butcher shop one day. I'm gonna open up a nice bada bing strip club. I'm have all my friends there, my family. And I was like, no, you're not dumb. Like, Mom, you think I would actually do that? Like, but sometimes you watch these movies, you kind of get intrigued. You go, oh, maybe I should.
I could do
Yeah,
that.
maybe I
That's really
should.
fun. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Until
Dante,
everybody
you said-
dies. Yeah.
You said your
When we go-
girlfriend's not Italian though, too.
No, not at all.
So I gotcha. So she's like, does she ask a lot of questions about? I mean, because you probably have it just, I don't know, like you said, your family's so Italian, like it's got to be left and right with like stuff like
Oh
that.
no,
Like you said, the 70
she got
people.
heavy medicine. She got a heavy dose very, very quickly. Like, yeah, oh yeah, she just walked by. She's a Boston Red Sox fan, and she came over for the first time for the Super Bowl. So like not even baseball.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm like, Chloe, you have to do me a favor. Like, do not tell anybody in this house that you're a Boston Red Sox fan. You don't understand who's at this house.
Yeah.
Like, you think you do, you don't. You really have no idea. And she's like, it's fine, it's fine. She walked in and she's like, I'm like, I told you, like these people, you don't. It's like they walked off a movie screen. They're like, no, these are the legit people in my life. My uncle's my, wife beater, eating sauce, like cursing, saying telling you the most insane stories about when they were growing up. Like, I don't want to say any of the stories because then people will know who I'm talking about. But just the types of guys I'm talking about. These people,
100%.
You're like, if you weren't raised in this type of environment, you wouldn't believe that these people exist, or you'd think that they are a TV character. No. These are very real people.
Oh, I bet she probably still gets shit for the Red Sox. Probably every visit.
Oh yeah,
years later.
One of the biggest things, honestly, about like being with a girl is I'm like, you have to understand that you're gonna get so much shit, and you have to be cool with that and kind of give it back. Like you cannot be fragile. You cannot be delicate. You can't be like, you know what your dad said to me? Like you can't do that. Like they're gonna break your balls. It's gonna happen.
Oh
You have
man,
to no.
I know. Sometimes you're not in the mood too. Like I'll go by my girlfriend's house, and sometimes her family just always busts my balls. There's no like, there's no letting up. Some people like they don't even give you 2 minutes to breathe. They're always, you just see them, they're just instantly busting balls from the get go. It's like,
what do they bust your balls about, Mike?
dude, I don't know. It's Marissa's got this one uncle. Every time I see him, he just immediately, just when I walk in the door, oh, this kid again, or what? You know what I mean? I'm like, I've been dating freaking Marissa for 5 years. You got to give me shit like I'm up to no good or something.
When I get that from people, I'm always like, that means that we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
You don't do that to people you don't like.
Exactly. They gotta test you too. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be worth, like, if you can't put up with that shit, then how are you gonna put up with you know what I mean? Exactly. Hardships when you're dating someone. So that's kind of how I look at it. But sometimes it's like, man, I'm not even in the freaking mood today. You gotta always be ready. You're 100% right on that, man.
When your girlfriend first, like when you first started dating your girlfriend, what was her when she first met your dad? How was that like? Was she like
okay, wait, hang on. Is it ever weird, like? Because when you grow up, you don't know your dad was like in all these movies and stuff. Like, how is it growing up and like people realizing it? Like, did you know right from when you were young that your dad was like famous or anything, or how did that kind of play into it too?
You kind of just like start to notice, like, why do people want to keep taking pictures of them on the street? Like, why do when we walk into a restaurant, I'd be like 8, and it's like, why do when we walk into a restaurant, it's just like you just cut the line. And they just like, it's weird. It's a weird thing to kind of grow up as the norm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you get a little older and you start kind of going out to places on your own and you like expect it to be like that because that's all you've ever known.
Yeah.
And then it's not, obviously. And you're like, oh, wait a sec. Oh, there's a thing going on with him. Mm-hmm. And there was never a moment like, oh, wow, he's a famous guy. But you start to be like, oh, yeah, so this is the real way things are. That's like life with you is Disneyland. This is the real thing. You know what I'm saying?
Really, you're used to like Goodfellas and like going through the kitchen to go get your table and they're making a table.
Like, so yes, like that's exactly right. That's what regular.
Yeah.
Like, so, when I like went to college and sort of moved to New York on my own, it was weird, like finding new places that I would frequent. And it's like, I have to, it sounds so weird to say, but yeah, there she is. Hey, Chloe. Hey. Talking about reservations. So like having to make a reservation, having to make a reservation like a few days in advance or something like that. Because that was never the case. I mean, he'll just walk into a restaurant in New York on a Saturday night at 9:00 and be like, give a table for 8. And they'll be like, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you ever flex it? Like something doesn't go your way, you ever flex and just be like, hey, did you ever watch the movie Bronx Tale?
No. Because if I did that, my dad would punch me in the head, and he'd be right to do so. No.
You know what? I can only picture what your dad would do. It's a Saturday night, 9 p.m. Walks in, got a table for 8. Yes, sir, Mr. Chazz, sir. Goes to the table. Get the fuck out of here. Get the no one's here. Get the fuck out of here. Like he's probably doing that.
Yeah, but
no. He's always very like, he's very cool about it. Like he just walks in. He's like, hey, yeah. He does this thing he'll take his glass off. Like, you got a table for 8. And they're always like, "Oh my God, yes." And if not, he's like, "Don't worry, it's fine."
Yeah, he's humble, bro. I could see.
There's nothing I hate more than people who like demand the special service and get upset if it doesn't get like accepted. So no, I've never ever in my life done the whole like, "Have you seen?" No.
I love it, man. No, I gotcha. Yeah, you guys are as cool as it gets. I feel you.
I cannot do that.
What about too, like? Do you like growing up that way though too? Are you? I guess that kind of answers my question because
do it all over again. I would do it exactly the same way.
Yeah, I just know
that's really good.
Well, remember like in Rocky when what do you call it? Like the son wanted to make a name for himself and they had a huge talk about it and things like that. Like, did it ever? I don't know. You ever feel that way like ever, or is it always just like you just love being around it kind of thing?
How do you mean?
I don't know. Just like, does it ever? I don't know, because you want to make your own, like, obviously you got your own acting going on.
I get what you're saying.
Like, you want to make your own name for yourself, kind of like how you even said too in the beginning. So does that like ever get frustrating or anything like that? Or
Oh, dude, big time. Oh yeah. Like, I remember I had a bio written about me once that was like, Dante is Chazz's son. I'm like, fucking come on. Like the first sentence really, like,
Yeah.
can it not be that? I actually try to keep it secret. It's like a
Yeah.
big secret. Like my goal is for nobody to know.
Mm-hmm.
And when I meet somebody who has no idea, I'm always like, oh yes, please have no idea. It's a, because I've had a lot of experiences where people are kind of dicks and then they find out and then now they're nice. And it's like, no,
Wow.
what happened 20 minutes ago when you were
Yeah.
a dick? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So when that information is known, like at the start of meeting somebody, you're like, are you actually being nice? Like, do you actually like me or like my music? Or are you trying to get a favor from him through me?
Yeah.
Like so many times on Instagram, people will DM me like, I love your music. And I'll be like, oh, thanks so much. And they're like, hey, I have a picture of your dad from 1986. I'm like, fuck off. No, like,
Yeah, I
no
gotcha.
way, man.
Yeah,
No,
no, I could see that because you guys are humble people and stuff. You're very talented on your own and things like that. So that's why I was curious, man. So
Yeah. So, it's definitely that's real. You want to, you don't want to just be known as your father's son.
mhm.
Yeah.
You want to be known as two separate entities.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
And again, going back to your music too, actually, it's really interesting. So I'm a big lover 80s and 90s stuff. I have some records here. I'm just gonna show you a couple.
Okay.
And I want to see like what your favorite songs are from somewhere. Who knows? You may not even know a couple of them because.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Got all the old school albums over there or what?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, pretty much. We got Frank Sinatra.
Oh, okay. Oh man. I don't know. I would probably say Summer Wind.
Summer Wind. Okay, Mike's I know is My Way, right?
My
Yeah.
Way. Oh, My Way. That's a hard one because there's so many just.
Yeah, he's got too many classics.
So I love Summer Wind.
Yeah, Summer Wind's good, and then I like I've Got You Under My Skin.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that one, or like You Make Me
Yeah.
Feel So Young. So many. Let's try the next one. Got Queen.
Probably Killer Queen.
Ah, see, this guy knows the good stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna pick Bohemian Rhapsody like everybody else. Oh, yeah,
Nah, I mean, obvious. That's like saying
Yeah.
your favorite character from The Office is Michael Scott. Like, no shit.
Yeah.
But like, of course it is. Other than that, yeah.
Yes.
Killer Queen.
Yeah, Mike, you got
That was a
a
good
favorite one from
comparison.
Queen.
Bro, I was gonna say the Michael Scott answer. I'm glad you're not asking me these ones.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's see if you know this one. Okay. Let's see. First off, you know what this is, right? Electric Light Orchestra.
I don't know too much of Electric Light Orchestra. I got to be honest with you.
But you know like of them, right? You know, Evil Woman.
I know of them. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. Some of them I have some weird taste sometimes. So, okay, it's a good one. Come on, Michael Jackson.
Don't stop till you get enough.
Jamon, Lemur from Rush Hour. Jamon, don't stop till you get enough. Yeah, that was a good one.
Or Man in the Mirror.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Oh, this is good. Earth,
Oh
Wind,
my
Fire.
God, yo! If you're talking about Earth, Wind, and Fire is my favorite band of all time. They're my
Really?
favorite band of all time. Yeah.
You jumped up as soon as he showed that one.
Yeah. Earth, Wind, and
That
Fire. Man. Oh my God, their album "I Am" is my favorite album.
Wait, hold on a sec. I Am is don't tell me. It's the one with hold on a sec. It has In the Stone, right? In the Stone.
In the Stone, starting it off with In the Stone.
Can't hide. No, it's I can't. No. Oh, what's the song called? I can't let go. I can't.
I Can't Let Go.
Boogie Wonderland. Dude, I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. Oh my God, we're bonding. This is great.
I would probably say Earth, Wind, and Fire After the Love Is Gone.
After the love.
That dude, that song. I first time I heard it, I almost crashed my car. I was like, I could not handle it.
Dude, that's classic.
Like, oh, I'm sitting in the car. I had to pull over. I'm like, what? How do they do that?
Your girlfriend's probably like, your
That's awesome.
girlfriend's probably like, no, are you okay? It's like, no.
I was by myself. I don't play it with her because if she answers the phone, I get very upset. I'm like, dude, turn off your phone. This is we're listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire. This is church. You do not answer your phone now. Yeah, if I could be in one band, I would be Maurice White. If I could be one musician, Maurice White, End of the story. That's it. Wear tassels and like a bedazzled suit open to here. Just being the most killing band of all time.
That's awesome.
Dante, too, I wanted to ask you, man, like, how'd you get into the style of music that you're into? Because I just feel like a lot of people our age, like I'm 27 or 26, a lot of people our age are like into the rap and hip hop and stuff like that. And it's,
I love rap
I don't know.
and hip hop.
Yeah, I know. Me too. But sometimes like I'll play like different kind of music around my friends and they don't even like, they have no idea what it is. Like just our age isn't really into it as much. Like how'd you start getting into, I know you're probably into all kinds of music.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was a emo kid. I just was sucked into that black hole. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I would have never guessed.
Oh yeah, man. I had the hair straightened like this and the, yeah. Oh yeah.
You got to send us a picture after.
I will send you a lot of pictures after. Yeah. It was all about like the I Heart Boobies big rubber.
Oh my God, yes. And what's the store called?
T-shirts and Warped Tour and Vans and all that kind of stuff. So I just went from like 90s rock right into that. And now I just kind of never left.
Oh, okay.
I like acquired more musical tastes in different genres over time, but the rock never left. Like that's my favorite genre of all time. But I do love hip hop, and I'm getting really into like tech house right now. I've been really into that.
Do you ever plan on doing like different types of genres of music on your own, or like do you just kind of want to stick with?
I mean, I've done a few different types. Like when I went to college for music, all my friends were really into R&B, and I never really listened to R&B, but they got me really into it. Like D'Angelo and Jay Dilla and like Jill Scott, that kind of stuff. And so for a while I like wrote that kind of music, but I just didn't love writing it that much. And then I started to do a little more production stuff, and it's trial and error. You just kind of start trying stuff and you go, I don't really like this. And then I rediscovered how much I love writing and releasing like pop rock records and rock records.
Do you ever let the audience too kind of guide what music to make next and stuff like that? Like you ever put out a song and get a vibe or a feel of what like the vibe the audience likes and kind of expand on it? Or
yeah, totally. I felt like that with like rock music. Like when I released the song before this last song called Brunettes, everybody in my life was like, this song is dope. And I'm like, cool, I think so too. Let's keep going with that. Yeah.
Because it's probably hard to like judge on your own, like when you're making music until, I mean, the audience has to decide at the end of the day, like how well it does. So that's kind of why I was curious. Like,
if you like it, if you really like the music you're making, you're doing it right.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
If you write songs for the audience, you're gonna be behind the ball all the time because the audience finds out what they like because a new musician does something different. So if you're behind the curve if you're doing that.
Damn, that's smart. That's spot on.
What are some of your favorite instruments? Because I know like even nowadays a lot of like the retro stuff is coming back. I know the synthesizers, the talk boxes, which I know those are very popular.
Are dope. Yeah.
I never played one. Have you ever played with a talk box before?
No, they're kind of weird.
They are, but I kind of like them. I don't know. Do you ever want to implement some kind of like synthesizer or any like those like older sounds into your music, or like what do you?
100%. I mean, I work with a guy named Jack who has every synth ever. He's one of those guys, like just a wall of synths.
That is awesome. Like a collection.
Yeah, and he has like these old Junos and Korgs and all this cool stuff. It's with those things, there's a whole other element of music making. You have to make the sound that you want. With an acoustic guitar, it's going to be an acoustic guitar, and that's it. That's what you're getting. An acoustic guitar. Shut up. It's acoustic guitar. with a keyboard, I mean, you could spend just as much time writing the song as making the sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a whole process.
There's a whole other dimension to that, which is really hard. I mean, that's hard because you're never done.
Yeah.
You can constantly keep tweaking the sound and then you never actually get to anything.
Yeah, and your passion's more with the writing portion of it.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I love the guitar. And you can get into that with pedals and stuff. That's a whole other headache. But for the most part, a guitar is a guitar and it's going to sound like a guitar. And it's up to you to make it awesome. So I'm more in that lane. Keyboards kind of give me a headache. I don't really know them that well.
Yeah, I get you. What about just like the inspiration? Like you said, you want to be consistent and always put out stuff. Like, is it hard to come up with new ideas, or is that kind of natural for you too?
I don't feel that way. Coming up with new ideas, I think that's the fun part. The hard work part is then after that. It's like the inspiration kind of gives you the seed. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then your experience and your training makes it into a song, a real song.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I listen to so many different types of music that I'll be inspired. Like I'll get inspired by Earth, Wind and Fire album. Then I'll get inspired by like a Jason Isbell album. Then I'll get inspired by like a Chet Baker album. So it's kind of random with me. But you know, I'll have the inspiration for the song and I'll come up with the beginning, and then if I lose interest, it's like, yeah, maybe that wasn't that good in the first place, or and then that's like the natural snowball effect. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
you play
keep going,
you
keep going.
play you play around with what works and stuff like that too. But even going back to like Alone in Paris, that song, like what is that song about, and what was the significance behind it?
I was in Paris and I was like, I gotta write a song about Paris, but it has to, like, I don't want to just write a song about Paris.
Yeah.
Everyone does that. I was like, something will hit me while I'm here. I'm waiting for it. And then this prostitute came up to me and started talking to me and then left. And I saw her like kind of stumbling down the road with like a mini skirt that was like as thick as my phone. Like it was not a skirt. It was like this long.
Wow.
And she was walking out with these big platform high heels. And I was like, there's the song. Got it. And I wrote down on my phone, Alone in Paris. And I just started writing down the lyrics. And then so I wrote the song.
Oh, man.
And then I was going to record it. And then I showed my little sister. If you go on Spotify, if you look up the credits, my sister's a writer on it. Because I played it for her and I was like, it's good, right? She's like, that sucked. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, that wasn't good. She's like, your chorus sucked. I was like, well, then write me. I started playing. I was like, then sing me a better one. And she did. And that's
awesome.
the chorus of the song.
That's how I know you're Italian too, because that's how it is with everything with us, man. Like I'll put out a t-shirt, I'll text my sister or girlfriend or something, and I always get the family like feedback and they make their tweaks, and
oh my
that's
God,
when
yeah.
like it helps a lot, man, having like family there for you that you can bounce ideas off of and stuff. That's awesome.
You need that.
I always ask my family.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too,
Italians are very blunt. We're very blunt. We don't sugarcoat things. We're not like that. We say straight to the point. Especially the nonnies. The nonnies are not shy about it either. You go to their house, whatever. You're wearing ripped jeans. Ma, what are you? What are you? Poor? Ma, get your mother to stitch this up. Give me the pants. I'll fix them for you.
They'll. I mean, I remember. It would really freak me out. Like there was nothing that was ever off limits. Like I remember I was in high school once. My dad goes, "You got some pimples on your face." I was like, "Thank you. I know." He goes, "Why?" I'm like, "What do you mean why?" Because I'm 17, Dad. That's why. Can I go to school, please, without this anxiety attack now I'm having? And that shirt doesn't fit that well. That's how you went out on the date. You went out wearing that. That's what you wore. Doesn't look good.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have worn. I'm like, stop it.
Sometimes you need that though. I feel it. But wait, why did your sister say it sucked? What was
It wasn't good. It wasn't a good chorus.
The chorus mainly? Okay.
The chorus was not good, and she wrote a better one, and I was like, all right, and that's the chorus of the song.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to hear how this old chorus sounded now.
I forgot. You know, that's when you know it's a bad chorus.
Wow.
That's
how
awesome.
You know.
Your sister just goes, "Hang on, you want this done right? Let me get on this." And you probably inspired her just bouncing. You know what I mean? Like you probably got the concept out there, and then she probably had an idea in her head, bounce it back to you. Like,
oh yeah,
that's what it's all about.
But let me get this straight. So that song was inspired by a prostitute then?
Yes.
So if that song blows up, you're gonna have to get a royalty.
Yeah, really. I was thinking that too. There's some random prostitute in Paris that's got a song written about her.
What's this for? The song's actually about you.
Let's go find her. Yeah, where was that? I can't remember. It was by this big fountain, and yeah, she was aggressive, very aggressive.
That is hilarious.
So
that is so funny.
With your sister, why'd you not like get protective over it though? If you like wrote it, you knew like the concept was good, like you wrote it, she said it sucked. Like, why'd you not get defensive and just?
Because sometimes you write a shitty song.
Yeah, but did you like at the time think it would like agree, or did you just kind of like?
I mean, it's kind of like once you write the song, you have to separate it from yourself. You know what I mean? You have to go like, okay, I am now I'm like crafting something.
Yeah.
It's not about my ego anymore.
Yeah.
It's about making this, because when you go to when I went to like music school, and one of the biggest lessons is they're like, you have to separate you from the song because you're not going to make it if you don't. If every
Yeah,
time you
wow.
go and show your class a song and they pick it apart and it's you take it as they're picking apart you're going to crumble.
Mhm.
So, you make the song and then that's it. It's out of your body now. Now it's a separate thing and you're building it.
And that's why I was kind of asking a little bit more about it, because I just think it's important. It's an important attitude to have. I just feel
Yeah.
like it's impossible to grow if you cling on to something and you don't like listen to feedback and keep it. You know what I'm saying? So
Also, I kind of had growing up, like you guys will know, I had no choice but to always have feedback. They have something to say about everything you do ever.
yeah. So
I couldn't say, hey, Nona, I really don't want to. No, like she'll tell you what she thinks. So will
yeah,
my
you're
mom, so will my dad. Like you're gonna hear it.
you're built
Mhm.
with tough skin type of deal for sure.
You're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it. Yeah, I had a few friends that I knew were a little more on like the fragile side, and before they would come over, I'd be like, okay, listen to me. Like you can't rip on this guy. You can't do it,
Yeah.
Dad.
Well, that's
Be
what
like,
I'm saying.
okay, okay.
It could be hard to like get out of being defensive. You know what I'm saying? Like you said with the pimple thing, like you have pimples, like it's already bugging you now. Like
I'm like, I
sometimes,
know.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you're like ready to snap and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
it's
and
not like an
they come
easy
right out
trait.
there.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an easy trait to like just learn. So that's funny. I feel like your family and what you learned in school too helped you there for sure. Because I
No,
don't know,
I had a
man.
lot of Italian friends growing up too, so they would always rip. But like it was just a constant rip, like shit fest.
Mhm.
Everybody is just ripping on you at all times of the day. You just go, "Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You just kind of you don't even hear it after a certain point. It just like bounces right off you.
It
Mhm.
phases away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't even feel it. Like it just hits you and that's it.
We mentioned that you were like you're an actor too and everything, and like you do like a lot of theater stuff. What's the big distinction between I obviously theater's live and like acting is not obviously, but what do you prefer? And like besides that too, which process is a lot harder to get into?
Theater is way harder.
Really?
Oh yeah,
See,
man.
I always thought it was the opposite. I always thought theater was easier to get into.
No way, dude. Theater's way harder. Like theater is so hard. In a movie set or a TV show, if you mess up a line, like you can go back. And
Yeah.
you also do it little by little. You have makeup. There's like the famous I forget who said it. They're like doing TV is like hurry up and wait. I mean, 90% of the time you're waiting around.
Wow.
Wow.
You're not really doing much most of the time. You're waiting in your trailer. They do your scene. Then it takes 45 minutes to an hour for them to turn the camera around. It's a whole thing. I mean, there's craft services and there's water and you have your room, and you have your
Yeah.
setup. Theater is much more like DIY kind of run and gun. You're in one room with like 20 other guys. You have a little cubby, and then you got to run out. You got to hit your marks. You got to do this. Theater is
Wow. Yeah, I could see
dude.
it getting fast
Theater is
paced. Like,
no joke. Like people think it it is hard. What's going on behind a Broadway set is another show totally in and of itself.
Wow. And what do you prefer? Or do you prefer more like the theater or the acting?
There's nothing. The rush of the theater is addicting.
That yeah,
wow.
that's the answer I wanted to hear, because I know everyone's just gonna be like,
That's
oh yeah,
crazy.
acting, great, but like no one, I feel like, and I'm sure you can relate to this too, Dante. Not many people give theater enough credit, like people who are
No
like,
way, man. No, they don't.
and it sucks because I'll be honest, I was one of those people too. I was like a very ignorant person about theater when I was in high school. I always thought, like when I in high school, when I found out that Al Pacino still does theater, I'm like, wow, what a downgrade. And like my girlfriend now, who's like big into movies and stuff, she'd be like, Adam, you understand, like, like theater is huge. Like
The
it's
theater
Broadway's.
that's like an actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're like killing it in the theater, like that's it. You are an
Yeah.
actor.
If you could do that, you could do
Yeah.
anything.
Actor. So wait, what's an actor?
Like you're no, it's a different dynamic. It's a totally different thing.
More suave. Yeah, I'm an actor.
Yeah, like saying like so one of the biggest things from moving to New York to LA is in New York, if someone's like, "What are you?" If you're like, "I'm an actor. I do some like off-Broadway plays." It's like, "Oh, he's an actor." When you go to LA and you're like, "I'm an actor," they're like, "Get away from me. Get I do not
Yeah.
want to talk to you."
Well,
Ever
because now because you know why too though, because I think a lot of it's changing now, because you could see that many of these TikTok stars, which is not a bad thing, they're getting into the acting scene.
They are,
Addison Rae did that movie, He's All That. And I think, listen, I'll be honest, I actually didn't mind the movie. I'll be honest with you, right? But it's when people nowadays say I'm an actor, I think because it's
taken on like a different meaning with social media. Like people will do they're like, doing readings on social media, and you're like, look, you know what? Like that's awesome that they're getting a ton of hits and people are loving it, but there's a difference between that and somebody who kind of came up auditioning in, New York shows or LA shows or Chicago shows, like local shows, and sort of working their way up. It's a different thing. And, people like that who make movies will then give opportunities to those people who are kind of coming up. So I think it's cool.
It is cool, but unfortunately, like I agree with you too. I think that people who put the hard work in, like they deserve that recognition too, because they don't, unfortunately. But dude, I'm telling you, man, no one cares. That's the problem. Like you could put so much effort into it.
And the big difference in America specifically, like the reason, I'm sure Michael, you noticed this, but in America, everyone is British. Every actor is British.
Yeah, kind of.
Every actor is British.
I know, you're right. It is kind of weird because you'll see their interviews like outside of the show or whatever, and then you're like, what the hell? They talk like
dude, when I found out Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead
he was literally the example I
lost my mind.
Yeah, that's why I know.
Dude, that's how I feel about Tom Hardy.
The example I had. That's hilarious.
I feel about that with Tom Hardy, Christian Bale. I didn't even know Christian Bale was Welsh.
They're British. They're all English guys, but it's because in America, like actor is sort of synonymous for person who wants to be famous.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
In England, it's a skill. It's a craft. It's like, I'm an actor. That's awesome. That is my life passion. It's not so much I want to be famous.
Yeah.
Two totally different things.
And why do you think
you nailed that description for sure?
And why do you think it's like that though? Why do you think America has that notion that like,
celebrity
culture? I was gonna say our culture, I would say for sure.
Yeah, right.
Celebrities are worshipped. Like I've seen it firsthand. Some people who, some celebrities who you walk in a room and it's like everybody drops what they're doing, and the attention is seriously nuts. It's like you're a king for real.
Do you have anything on like the acting side coming up, Dante?
Just a lot of auditions. Acting is it's a game of numbers. So it's like a 99%. You audition for stuff, you don't get it, you just keep going, keep moving on. It's like releasing songs. You just hit it right through.
You hit it and quit it.
Hit it and quit it. Hit it and quit it. It's a grind. Like it really is a grind. Going through the audition process and coming up that way is, you go, this is why people stop doing it. I get it now. I get why people like when you start out acting, you kind of have these rose-colored glasses. Like, this is my dream, this is my passion. I'm gonna be in, and then you're like, oh, I get why people bail. I totally get it, but you don't because you want it.
You're persistent. Yeah, you have to
totally understand. I'll call my dad and I'll be like, Dad, like this thing, and he's like, yeah, that's why it's hard. That's what makes it hard. That's why rarely people do it. Keep going. I'm like,
he's right.
Like, hearing that's why it's really hard makes you go, oh, okay. If this is as hard as it is, like, I can keep pushing. It's a business of resilience, man.
Well, the good thing about it is that it's through self-tapes now, right?
All of it, everything is through self-tapes.
Which is I prefer and I don't. I mean, I'm a very personable guy. I would love to like go in and actually introduce myself.
Right. I feel that.
But with the self-tape, it's nice because I'm telling you, man, like it's funny. If I had to audition in front of people, I feel like it'd be a lot easier to like nail my audition. When I got to do it in front of a camera, I swear to God, Dante, I'm literally doing it for like 30 times. I got to do it like over and over. I'm like, I didn't like that. Even one little thing, because it's a recording, because you're always going to be like, the thing is they can always replay it. When you do it once, it's like they have to take it in right there, and then that's it. But when you record and they listen to it multiple times, which they don't even do that anyways, they listen to it for 5 seconds and that's it. They already know.
I know.
That's the shittiest part. You do going in.
They do not watch the whole thing. Whoever is listening to this right now, if you're acting and you think that like if you get into it middle end, they already turned off your audition.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to be right away. You're going. You hit the ground running immediately. Because why? They've seen 500 people do this scene. Why are they going to watch the entire scene? They like how you started off? No, bye. Yeah, it's the thing with self-tapes I find is you can keep it's like making a sound on a synthesizer. I mean, you're never done. You can keep doing it forever.
Yeah.
When you go into a room and you audition, there's a sense of like completion. I did it, goodbye, it's over. That's it. I shot my shot. If I get it, great. If not, move on. But with self-tapes, you'll be in there for a long time. You know, I get lucky because I do a lot of them with my family. It's a family affair. Every time one like me or my little sister has a self-tape, and my dad has this acting technique. He does this a lot. He's done this to a few people where if you don't get into the scene, he'll like just smack you in the face really hard. So, and that will like kind of like kickstart your system to not thinking about the lines, to just getting in the scene, to doing the emotions. And I've seen it work. He did it on me and it worked. And so anytime we do an audition, if I'm having trouble, he'll like walk up to me and I'm like, I'll be like, get away. And he's like, I'm not going to slap you. I'm like, that's what you said before you slapped me. So I don't trust you. Yeah, I've seen him slap a lot of guys. And then they all like get really surprised. And he's like, do the scene. Then they do the scene and they're in the moment. They're not thinking about it. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It takes you out of it takes you out of your head and puts you really in your body and in the scene.
Yeah, for sure.
I bet like before I go to the warehouse or something, if your dad just gave me a slap across the face, I would definitely have a way more productive fucking day before I walk through the door. There's no doubt.
The Meisner method, this method, that method. I'm like, have you ever just tried getting slapped in the face with someone who has a hand of a fucking catcher's mitt? Like that'll get you really in the moment.
I'll get you going.
That's an Italian thing too. Like we get it right away, bro. Like, you know what I mean? We don't care. You get hit and it's weird. Like you end up being a better person sometimes after it's, you know.
Well, yeah. Well, look at us guys. We've all dealt with it. We've all dealt with either the tapini, the belts, the brooms, and for Dante, the catcher's mitt, the real life.
I've had the hand. I've had his hand. I've had my bell rung a few times. One time, my mom took a spoon, went like whap, and it hit the counter and it shattered. The wooden spoon shattered, and I kind of looked at her like, now what? And she reached and just got another one, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, that's why there's always a million spoons, man.
Smash. Classic, yeah. Then I was like, gotcha. Yeah. Second, back up spoon.
I love
like, oh, shit. And I took off. Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up, but dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed, man. I love your attitude. You're very humble, smart guy, hardworking. Like, dude, I had a blast talking to you today, man, and just learning more about you and your music and stuff. What you're doing is awesome, man. Keep on the pace you're at, and I just can't see you like not being successful, bro. Like,
thank you guys so much, and same goes to you. I can't wait to come to Toronto or in Chicago, and I'll meet you guys in person.
Yeah, and before we end off, tell where everybody can find on social media and like if you want to plug anything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just follow me on all the socials. Just Dante Palminteri, Dante Palminteri, and that's it.
And Alone in Paris, they can find that on all streaming platforms.
All on my on my Instagram is everything. Links to everything, all that stuff.
All right, sounds good. Well, guys, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Have a good one.